Fire team done.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Mars TV Dota 2 League. We're in the playoffs now, hanging out in the upper bracket where we have Team Secret going toe-to-toe against Evil Geniuses. We're about to hop into game number 2. I'm Kardel Guy for Beyond the Summit. I'm going to be joined again by Merlini. Here we are, Ben. It's EG up, game number 1. It actually looked like it was going to be a bit of a smoother process for them on the back of their AM lineup, but we can't help but be a bit skeptic. It's hard to be skeptic because it's Puppy on one hand drafting, so you got to feel like what he does is got to be pretty damn good. But you know, Magnus 5th pick, no melee core to utilize really the Empower. I don't know, Ben. How much game number 1 do you put on the draft, and how much do you put on like the whole execution? You know, the age-old question, if you will.
Maybe like 35%, 30% draft, 70% execution.
I mean, they had a lineup where when executed, looks devastating. We saw it like brief flashes of it there in game number 1, but
they didn't have enough tools in their lineup to actually take the initiative, though. Like, the Magnus had a pretty good start. They got a kill on the Jug very early, and he had a Link Dagger that had pretty early timing. They secured some early good runes for him, too, but they weren't able to connect on any RPs. I think a lot of that was due to EG's, like, very careful play, but that was the only tool they had available to them. If he was missing off the map, they knew exactly how to play. They popped the smokes accordingly. So it's just like they didn't have that many options to go, and I think that's where the strategy was not that sound. But as you mentioned, EG versus Secret, or is it Secret? They misspelled it on the top.
Wait, what? Where?
Right there.
Secret?
Secret.
Oh yeah, what did they do? Wait, I never noticed that. Is that the title of the lobby?
I don't know.
I don't know where that comes from, but Secret. We'll need a win here if they want to take it to a game 3, that's for sure. They do get some precious pickups early in this draft. EG obviously looking to leave something a bit tasty out there, a second phase ban onto the Axe, something that they sported for game 1 on Universe. Secret get rid of the Wisp, and then quickly followed up with the OD. So OD's right back in where he used to be, you know, a couple of chapters ago in the Dota world, back into his first phase, first ban situation here, it looks like. And after the first pickup of Kunkka, it's no surprise to see that Secret need to grab up the Shadow Demon. And then for the follow-up pickup here, they're going to opt to go for the Jug. So
last game they didn't have any defensive hero. That's I think Shadow Demon is really important for them because the Mag got jumped last game. He's dead. There's like very little that they could actually do to save him. If anyone else gets jumped, Mag goes in to save them. But this way they have a backup plan because EG seemed to always be able to get the jump on the most important hero.
That was weird to see. You got Pi and Puppy, some of the best defensive support players like in the game, and neither of them had a defensive support yet. AA and Kunkka.
So they wanted to try something different. They wanted an all-team fight, but I mean, you know, didn't really suit them in that manner.
We get our first Faceless Void of the series, coming out second here. It's an EG Classic, and it's been a Universe Classic for quite a while, but as we know, this hero has quickly become quite flexible and also representing the safe lane if necessary. So
very similar to Axe. I think that's how they're going to play it. It's like a annoying offlaner that can Iron Talon, but is also a really good initiator because that's what Universe did most of the time, was just look for that Magnus, blink call him every single opportunity that he got. So it's I think a substitute that they wanted, a very strong team fight offlane hero for Universe.
How much value, I wonder, will Secret put into that Void and kind of considering countering it out? If this was MVP going against EG, I'd say this is where we might be in store for like a Febby Silencer in the near future to kind of combo break anything that the Faceless Void is looking to set up. Or do you hit him where it hurts in like the laning phase? And it is a Faceless Void at the end of the day. He's very hard to even tame in that off lane. There's only so many heroes out there that kind of really have a say in the matter.
Kardel really good.
Kardel's good. He has mana leak. He does get banned. What do you think about Spectre? Is he okay?
Like okay. I think Shadow Demon's already pretty good to deal with.
Yeah.
Get early poison stack on him. It's not super easy for him to deal with that. And you can also put someone under during the Chronosphere, which I think is also pretty good. There's always Pudge. Pudge is somewhat of a counter to Faceless Void now that Vengeful Spirit is that popular, but no one really runs that anymore.
Yeah, and I certainly haven't seen Pi or Puppy run it. I would love to, don't get me wrong. I would love it.
Secret would run it.
Puppy's like, I picked that hero once, many moons ago, on a different team of different colors in a different time, but Haven't seen him drafted too much since, unfortunately. We'll have to see.
They also, I think, identified correctly that the Juggernaut was a big issue for them. Even though the laning phase worked out in Secret's favor last game, I think he did way too much damage to them in the 10 to 25 minute phase of the game, which just allowed AM to get way too big because he was constantly pressuring and killing people with his Omni Slash and just running rampant in all the fights. And the healing ward too for the sustain, so they could actually break the high ground combined with the Oracle.
Some notable possible pickups that have yet to be banned. We have Huskar, which is obviously still in there, and always something that can kind of linger over your shoulder. And Drow also has been completely ignored. Wasn't expecting that. EG always been a kind of a team that kind of value that hero, whether it be banning it out or picking it up. Or maybe I'm just thinking of the EG of old with PPD and TI. I mean, that was something he had said himself.
It's not something that they turn to all the time. They're pretty unpredictable with it. I mean, okay, it's a good game with it. I don't think they go into the draft with a Drow strat in mind. It's like, hey, let's run Drow against this team. It's just like, oh wow, we could just Drow them right now, and then they just. I guess sometimes they do pick it up first phase.
For now, though, not the right time or the place. And again, we'll see the respect onto the Omni Knight, which, as you're talking about in the last draft, both these teams did pick up quite a bit, at least for day one action of MDL. But here again, it will not see the light of day.
And they don't have any good purgers on their side. Shadow Demon Juggernaut, actually, I think two of the best heroes are Juggernaut versus the Omni Knight. Juggernaut, I think he's the best diffusal blade carrier. You have like PL, but
yeah.
PL
Faceless Void could if he was a safe lane Faceless Void, but we're still banking that could be a Universe Void.
Okay.
But okay, Naga comes out here.
The Faceless Void counter with that crit himself ran during TI and a little bit before and after. The
MP's Naga or Puppy Naga, though?
MP plays it a lot more. I'm not sure about how often they run it. Let's see if they have picked it up yet in MDL. It has been banned 2 times and not picked up yet by them, so it is still TBD, but I think because it came immediately after the Faceless Void pick, I'm more inclined to say that it's a support.
Yeah. And EG grab up a support themselves. It looks like they're going to go back yet again for the crit Oracle. Remember, in game 1, he had fired down a serious amount of kills for himself. You know, obviously with a lot of the benefit from EG's vision department, more credit towards crit himself, I imagine. He was able to take full advantage of that early level 2 Purifying Flames and just quickly accelerate his own personal worth. But here goes Secret now into their off-lane grab, a Tidehunter here, more like combo breaker here, to kind of really disrupt a team fight. So now you have Song and Ravage to work with. They are big cooldowns though, so can't help but feel again it's this Secret putting together another what could be big team fight heavy, execution dependent kind of lineup.
But now it's not all on one hero. Last game it was all on the Magnus. This game they can set up the Tidehunter with Ravage, or Sleep Ravage is a very potent combo, especially when none of EG's heroes are really good BKB wielders or have magic immunity like the Juggernaut on their team last game. So I think it's a nice combo that they have until...
Look who comes out now. I told you, man, this guy just hangs over your shoulder and you just forget about him. He's like, hey, put me in, coach. Put me in. And then he shows up to play. Happened to OG at TI. It was very unfortunate. Now, here, EG looking to utilize him to knock Secret down into the frickin' lower bracket.
Yep, he's good versus this lineup for sure. Like, he doesn't really care if he gets slept. He doesn't really care if he gets ravaged. He's just up there to tank, and with the Oracle backing him up, what does he really have to be scared of? And now they have threats on multiple fronts. The threat from the Chronosphere, the threat from the Huskar, just raining down spears upon them, and I think their lineup currently trumps Secret's team fight.
And around everything out for EG, it looks like a Sumail Timbersaw is in order for us. This, obviously, with the Huskar pick, shows that it's going to be a Universe Faceless Void. We can expect Zion the Kunkka, crit on the Oracle, and that leaves none other than Artura Babev himself on the mighty Huskar pickup. So, Secret, okay, buddy. Huskar lineup before you. You got 1 pick left. What are you going to go for? They go for the Ursa. Is good at man fighting up against the Huskar, but you got a Timbersaw still to deal with. You have a Faceless Void Chrono to work around. Lots of ways for EG to kite and maybe manipulate this.
I think Oracle crushes the Ursa too. You
One
just
Fates Edict.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, that not going to be easy. Secret just kind of grabbing what can be somewhat of an answer here for the Huskar, if given the opportunity to farm. Can't help but favor EG a little bit on the back end of this draft.
At least it's a fast-paced hero, though. They needed something swift to deal with this EG lineup. Like, EG can start fighting like very early on, level 6, level 7, I think, is when they're strongest relative to Team Secret's lineup. And if they went for a traditional, very farm-heavy position 1, then I think they'd be in a lot of trouble when they start sieging with the Huskar. But overall, I think their lineup is decent. I think it matches up better than last game, at least.
You think this lineup of Secret matches up better?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's more well-rounded. They have a lot more options available to them. They can do Roshan very early. They have a lot of physical damage, so they can burst down the Huskar. They have good AoE team fights, so they can burst down the Oracle very quickly. He can't protect himself if he gets swept into a Ravage. They also have a defensive hero and the Shadow Demon, so that you can disrupt the Juggernaut and or the Ursa, so they can pop the defensive cooldowns and not die in the fight early on. I think they have a lot of tools that they were lacking last game.
I definitely would agree that their own personal lineup is certainly more well-rounded than what they were sporting for game number 1. There is still a lot for them to be able to execute, and now even kind of, I don't know, do they have to now consider some way to make an early impression into the early game? I mean, you can't just casually let this mid lane Huskar do his own business, so do they put more focus onto him towards this mid lane? Do you look to make a bigger impression in the side lanes to kind of balance it out for yourself better?
There's a couple of ways to deal with the Huskar. One is to just ignore him. Ignore him for the first 15-20 minutes of the game. And he's a farm fast, and he doesn't scale that well with items. I mean, with Armlet, I suppose, but after the Armlet, it kind of peaks off very easily, and you're not very scared of a Huskar farming. So I've seen that. Another way is to just constantly kill him in the early game, so that he just peaks really early because he's really underfarmed. But usually one of the two is best, and the worst way that I've seen is just constantly fighting him when he has an Oracle sitting behind him at like the 7 to 11 minute mark. If you get to just let him free farm his Armlet and then fight him constantly once he has his Armlet, that is like the quickest way to lose against the Huskar.
Oh boy, they are already making moves onto mid 1 where it hurts. Flame Spears continue to chuck on out, and he'll have to step on back and begin to work with some of that regen here. Puppey will be nearby to help out, but it's already a 3-on-2 in the mid lane.
They thought they wanted the Timbersaw to be mid, because Timbersaw versus the Ursa is very Ursa favored. Because Reactive doesn't do that much, because if you get hit, you take Fury Swipes. And yeah, you're not going to be able to out-regen that. But with the Ursa in the mid lane, he has no place here. That's no home for a bear.
Yeah, he is not happy. I don't know if this means that Secret are going to have to pull out an audible and change things up between him and the bottom lane or what, but something may need to be done here. Something may need to be done about my lag too. I might have to do a reconnect here.
I'm going to reconnect as well.
We were blessed with a nice game 1, so hopefully the Great Firewall isn't going to be burning too hot here for game 2. We'll keep tabs though for now, as Zai and Pi. That sounds like a cute duo in itself, Zai and Pi. But they are trading blows back and forth. I think there was a Fortune's End there. There's suddenly a kill. But as they make chase, they will also get the follow-up takedown onto Pi. I will definitely have to reconnect. Mid 1, Mooks to move on in, and this is where I'll do it. Sorry, gang. Missed the kill. It looks like they were able to get a grab onto Crit. After Crit was participating in that skirmish for Pi, he invaded into the Secret turf, and then on the way out, it looks like he got caught out. So, oh, Ursa also died. Man, we missed a lot, unfortunately. Damn you, Firewall! Damn you! We'll certainly blame them and not my camera. Rotation's back, man. All hands on deck for this mid
chicken
lane.
snipe from Pi. He's gonna get it.
Nice grab. Pops down the courier. Torrents fly out, and right clicks ahoy here for Crit. Oh, this is just completely lagged out and bonkers. Oh well. So while absolute chaos is breaking on this mid lane bend, both side lanes have the one-on-ones though. It looks like Forev did rotate up to the top lane, so he gets his matchup against Universe's Faceless Void, and MP on the Jug to square up against Sumail's Timber, and that Timber has got the second highest CS in the game. So he's holding up pretty nicely. Obviously, we'll always favor the one-on-one, in particular against the melee.
But he died.
But he did die.
I think Juggernaut actually is one of the matchups most feared by a Timbersaw, supposedly.
My god, this lag. Totally throwing me off my game. Just putt-putting along right now. We'll see if it kind of works in fizzles itself out. So it looks like we'll be able to have a bit of a stalemate there in the mid lane as both supports will be there to match it up. Huskar's at 14-2, while Ursa's at 11-0, so mid one does continue to trail behind just a little bit. Obviously credit to the takedown that EG were able to get.
They're actually getting a lot of farm in the Ursa though. Ursa I thought had a really tough flame being paired up versus Huskar +1, but he's almost even in terms of CS.
Looks like they're making a move for Zai now. Moving on in, the poison flies. He's able to sidestep that third tick, but really has nowhere to run now. Actually, as I say that, they move in. He gets the Torn off. Now they're looking to go for the kill on the Pi. He's not going to be able to participate in that one, but Universe will be able to clean it up and get the XP. But now Puppy shows up, hits him up with the ensnare. Can he body block enough? Doesn't look like it. Universe should be able to walk away from some trouble. But another grab for Secret as they'll inch ahead now 5-3 in kills.
And that's how you turn nothing into something. Nice plays by the Kunkka there to get the +1 on the Shadow Demon. I thought he was just dead to rights without being able to get anything in return.
Long false promise, or sorry, Fortune's End to land on the mid one with the follow-up torrent. They need a bit more flame spears. Is that gonna be good enough? It looks like it will. Mid one's gonna be going down, and they'll get another secured grab. And I'm gonna try to reconnect one more time. It is.
Crushing so
He's
hard
getting
in
a
CS.
ton of CS.
He's like way ahead of the tide. Okay, I'm reconnecting now.
I'm back in now, and we'll just keep our fingers crossed that it's going to be decent. But yeah, as mentioned, Universe here, 25-6. Tide's on the other side at 19 right now, but Universe is going to coasting into a level 6 chrono here soon enough. And with a Huskar in the game, he's always down for a fight. It looks like he'll have to take time to jungle up to get closer to that armlet, lead some solo XP for crit, because I'm sure they wouldn't mind him getting closer to that level 6 and that false promise sooner.
Man, they all have raindrops on Dire side. At least three of the heroes. It's one of the best items versus the Oracle, though, for sure.
Oh, yeah. At the same time, it really doesn't cost a lot for Oracle to try to chew through those raindrops. Purifying Flame, so cheap and such a low cooldown.
But then you're kind of like just like paying for a tango.
Yeah, that's true. Pops it off, harass, and continues to go back on his grind. Arteezy continues to jungle up, and steady as she goes here. Looks like MP does have Omni Slash available to him, but needs a bit more mana before it's ready to go. I doubt there'll be any serious kill opportunities here in the bottom lane, so we'll just have to see if Secret feel the itch to kind of make fights happen or not. I don't know if anything has been too telling by this side. I mean, you were talking about all the different setups on how you want to kind of approach a Huskar game. It seems like they've kind of been ignoring him a bit. I certainly haven't been bloodthirsty for him.
They limited his armlet timing. A free-farming Huskar gets armlet at his time.
So they limited enough, and I guess it's enough for them to kind of step off from it for now, but bottom lane. MP eating a lot of damage here. Pilot Eye obviously around will be able to assist a bit, but...
Very nice sidestep of the Torrent right there. Had he hit that Torrent, that Juggernaut would have been dead, even if he had tried to mango in an Omni.
But Zai continues to dish out the Torrents here, hoping for setups that MP is going to be able to avoid in the meantime. Oh, I like that. Crit mind game in the ward. Walks into Roche, comes out, they ping that one, but they do see him still, and they do see the new ward dropped and will be able to ping it out. So a good spot there by Secret, and they'll take care of that extra bit of vision soon enough. But level 6s are coming online here. We got Ravage good to go, we got Chrono good to go, Chakram is going to be up.
Oh, they're taking out the large stack with the Chakram. Speaking, oh man, that's a quad stack.
All shredded apart now. Sumail, big bump in the economy here. Already has his arcanes, but obviously looking to scoot ahead and get a hold of a Bloodstone that much sooner. Be very helpful. And with that coming online and getting charges, the full snowball effect for EG could be there. Jumping from Universe, but does not make the call to commit in with the Chrono. Just did not like that kind of approach.
That's not the target you want.
Yeah. Secret were around, but they're already heading out the other way. Look at this, they're moving into the Roche pit. EG don't know. They took out that one ward, and after that was taken out, they know that they're going to be doing this in the dark, and EG don't seem to be the wiser unless Sumail heads to that area. Doesn't seem to be the case.
They also had the 6 on a Naga Siren. Puppy was absorbing a lot of experience on the top lane, so this Roshan is very, very safe for them.
Oh yeah. Oh wow, yeah, Puppy certainly got a lot of XP this game.
Yeah, they feel completely comfortable taking this. Even if EG knew, I don't think they can take the fight at all.
A level 6 support at 8 minutes, that's very nice. So, he'll be the kind of insurance policy for this Roche. Zai showing up now though, but it's too late for him to participate. They actually are going to be turning it back onto him, and they get him with a disruption and an Omni Slash. He goes down. Aegis acquired and going to be pocketed up there by Secret.
Really nice setup though. They had a lot of foresight with that Observer Ward that they dropped to prepare for the Roche. That really set it all up for them and just made it super easy and a very secure Roshan for them.
And now EG, I don't know how much this prevents them from kind of moving forward with any sort of game plan they were hoping. And if it was one to kind of get aggressive sooner, that might have to be stalled out. It looks like RTZ was able to finish out his armlet. He still hangs about in this mid lane, but the rest of his EG team up here in the top lane looking for another setup. Universe still has a chrono to use, but Sumail's joined him now under the smoke. For F though,
there's no X on the Kunkka, so it's actually good. How are they going to set up on him?
That is interesting actually. Torrent will not connect, and Forev looks to go in deep. No rotations to come yet. It looks like they might just sack their Tidehunter here. And that seems to be the case, so they'll just turn it into a push onto the tier 1. The rest of Secret just continue their grind in the other lanes, it looks like. We're not helping Forev, we don't need them. Well, they'll get their tower without too much trouble.
Looks like they're maybe trying to set up for like a sleep Ravage TP, but the tower is way too low for them to actually defend it. And Tidehunter's still dead for a good 10 seconds.
Well, soul tower there for EG. Gets him back on the up and up. Secret have been slightly ahead in the net worth department, just inching out a bit of a better farm game in the laning phase, but outside of that, the kills have been pretty split. And with each team getting ready to move forward and start taking some tier 1s, we will still kind of see a bit of an even trade here until one team really looks to unleash. But imagine if it's coasting this way forward, who do you really give the advantage to if you're just kind of playing against the clock? I mean, on one
Secret,
team,
for sure.
Yeah, you got Secret with the Jug and Ursa.
And the Huskar will fall off too soon, and Secret have a way better Roche. Ursa can solo it at any point, and then they have the Naga Siren and the Tidehunter to back them up at any point. So I think that they're just comfortable with farming, keep getting Roche, and then eventually they can just use the Aegis of the Immortal to overwhelm the Huskar in the fights.
There goes the ensnare. On to RTZ. Puppy not looking to pull the trigger on a song yet. Oh, Mid-1 gets the jump, and they're going to quickly take out Crit. That means that RTZ could go down too. And now the response from EG, but it may have come too late if any damage wants to get involved, because it's only going to be Sumail. So the response is going to be for Rampage, or Ravage rather. And this is going to be a big fight for Secret. EG going to be forced to withdraw. Zai comes in now, but it's too late to really participate. Losing your Huskar and Oracle at the start of this fight, they should have just called this one off altogether, and it looks like they'll have to just settle. Big win for Secret on that.
They got 2 decent kills, despite that fight going very poorly at the start with the Ursa being able to wrap around. Yeah, the Chronosphere into, I think, a 3-man boat with a level 3 Tidebringer to follow it up. So, it wasn't all so bad for them, and Sumail is very fat. He is on par for like a 12-minute Bloodstone, and he, like, they thought they could burst him down, but like, oh man, he has the 400 HP from the Bloodstone.
Mid-1 is around, but he sees Sumail, he sees a bottled Arcane Rune too, I'm sure, and not happy about it, but they decide to make the call to go in. Mid-1 springs from the trees here on the back of a Highlight Eye Purge. Is it going to be enough? It doesn't look like it. He gets help with a False Promise for Crit, and now Puppy decides to dish out the song, allows them to kind of step back and away. But RTZ on the other side of the song, now going to be isolated. Beautiful pullback, but he begins to armlet toggle right to Puppy though, and Puppy's hitting him with the Riptide. Aegis is going to be costed now, and Universe and Zai move on forward, and we'll be able to get the grab onto Jug. MP dropped, leaves openings for Mid-1, but look at the rest of Secret now coming in from behind for Rev and Puppy. Sweep on in, they see Crit, they look to go in. Can they make it out? Anchor smashes, not enough yet. And Crit decides to head up north to pull attention towards himself. But he's still alive and well, turns it back, nukes down Mid-1 a bit, and sadly it ends up healing him. Crit's not going to be able to make it for the deny. Still a strong Secret fight, it looks like here. Zai will pull all the way off and away. And that will be the end of it. As the dust does settle, the back end of that fight is another 3-for-3 trade. But we're not done yet, Ben. Here we go. Torrent, boat combo. And, well, Zai and Sumail take out Forev's Tidebringer, or Tidehunter rather, and now they're going to be able to take the tier 1.
Wow, Puppy used that sleep so well. He slept 4 members, and then he realized that the Huskar could have been isolated. So
yeah,
he skirted a little bit to the northwest so that the 3 members of his team could just focus down the Huskar while the rest of his team couldn't do anything. That was very nice. And Arteezy with a failed armlet toggle right there just dies with a Riptide.
And unfortunately, he's trying to walk himself out and away from all the harassment, but I don't know if he reaccounted for where Puppy's positioning was and walking to a trail.
There's Chronosphere up.
Chronosphere up. EG smoked, not big of a nearby board. And now they're making a approach to their by mid, but they have spotted out Pilot Eye. Self-destruction. It will not save you. 11
from Zai. Knew exactly where he was with the smoke popping. Now T1 actually are in a decent position to contest Secret during the Roach. If they had just keep farming up with the Huskar and not force fights onto Secret's side of the map, Secret just could have played patiently, wait for the Blink Dagger on the Ursa, which is just now come out. Very late Blink Dagger for him, despite his very early good start in the early Roach. And yeah, they've kind of regained any sort of momentum that they didn't have in the early part of the game.
And right now, Secret in a bit of an awkward spot with pressure coming in on the top part of the map.
Chronosphere on bottom as MP tries to split with them.
Oh no. They all run right to the bottom. Will catch out the Jug. Wonderful setup by Universe there. Just as they were drawing the rest of Secret towards that top lane, where Secret were kind of stuck in the dark. So they will not see the rotations coming out by EG, and fortunately for MPs on the bad end of the gank.
And in the meanwhile, they got that Ninja Observer War on the top lane. That's usually a ward you see a Bounty Hunter or Riki plays.
Well, nice little spot down for them. Leaves EG with a extra bit of information. Could see Secret moving out and smoking up. And with Roche about possibly a minute or plus away, obviously something that both teams are going to be looking to keep tabs on, but it looks like Secret are beginning to inch on in. They're happy to turn up the games as far as objectives go. They've already taken out a tier 1 mid and top lane. It's time to get that tier 1 bottom now. Arteezy's happy to get things started. The rest of EG are around. Only Universe back in farming because, well, he doesn't have a Chrono, so there's no reason for him to really be there.
Yeah, stopping the Roach is the end of the game for them right now. Secret are actually very hesitant to take down that mid T1 tower. Just scared about getting picked off with X perhaps, but Arteezy was kind of out alone on the bottom lane. They knew that perhaps he had backup, but they'll opt to take out the stacks instead for stealing the double stack.
Yeah, he's been able to get his mech, but obviously looks to be saving up for the Blink Dagger next, so we'll see. I mean, do you find more value in the Blink Dagger, or should he Greaves in this game?
I think Blink. They need to be able to kill the Faceless Void very early on in the fight, and like double Blink or like Blink Ravage into like an Ursa Burst or Blink Ravage into an Omni Slash should be able to bring him down. But without a Blink Dagger, I think Faceless Void should generally be able to get a jump on that. But the problem is he is mega farm too. He has 2100 gold. He can get a Blink right now, and then yeah, he actually does have his Blink Dagger.
Just oh, I thought he was gonna sell something maybe, but looks like not the case. Ooh, Radiant lose their courier up by their secret shop. Wasn't holding anything, but Secret happened to be around and we'll take it out. Unfortunate there for EG. They'll lose the little cargo and have to get back to the drawing board. Next item for Sumail after completing that very early Bloodstone seems to be a Yule's, but yeah, it's not one to purge a silence. I suppose maybe helps avoid Omni Slash, gives him move speed. Anything else I'm missing that maybe the Yule's would be more useful for here as opposed to just getting like a Lotus Orb or something else?
It doesn't leave him hanging out dry in the sleep combo. If he gets slept in a Ravage, he can instantly Yule himself out of it. And as you mentioned, it's very good versus the Ursa Burst, but more importantly, I think you can use it on the Ursa as he's about to use his Rage. They don't have to rely on a disarm during the Enrage. They can just throw him up in the air. You waste a lot of your bursts, and you're very squishy after that too if you pop your Enrage.
Looks like Secret made the call to let this tower fall, and now EG have the top lane open to them if they want to make a high ground approach, and I guess they just know that they have hit a peak that Secret may not be able to deal with right now, so they consider to keep moving on forward. I mean, obviously, Universe is going to be waiting in the back lines with a fresh new Blink Dagger and a Chrono, so can't be surprised that EG are going to be feeling this confident, but this is in no Aegis. High ground siege now coming out from EG.
A risky play by EG. They wanted to push up the tilt because if they go back and farm, Secret will just do Roche. And, oh, a smoke on the wraparound. Is anyone going to go around? I see Puppy wrapping around from the back. He has a relic, for crying out loud.
Whoa! Where did he get that thing from? Probably hacked it in, but now they go for the song. A jump does occur. They're going to get the quick takedown of Arteezy in the meantime. This is Secret's time. Locking Zai, backing away. He's not going to be able to help out. Chrono is going to get dropped, and the rest of EG look to flee. Can they make it back and away? Mid one's moving in. It looks like they've been able to catch up with Zai, but now Zai rushing out and away here. Might be able to make it out. Not really good chase game, but now Forev decides to commit it, pops out the Ravage, gets off the Gush, will be able to get the finish, taking out Crit. Sumail, one of two left. Long Timber Chain should allow him to make a good escape here, but wonderful hold by Secret. Can't help but think that, I don't know, were EG too greedy doing that high ground siege in the top lane now.
Arteezy just died way too early in the fight. He got bursted down before the Oracle could pop anything, relying on a Blink Chrono or a False Promise to save him. I can't really blame him for his positioning in the fight, but losing your front liner before Ravage is even expended is a tough fight to recover from.
I mean, they made that jump right as Puppy was approaching in and dishing out the song. I mean, could make the argument that, you know, with thanks to that song, Zai was not able to help out with the boat. Looks like mid one caught out near the Roche pit. Obviously something he was looking to get in there and hope to do. Well, both teams are looking to hope to do here. So EG wants to be the ones imposing some dominance here.
That's the Radiance.
Radiance on your Puppy support Naga.
That's crazy. His net worth is number 3 right now.
I mean, isn't Naga like
they have a country ward there. Oh my god.
Oh, MP walks in quickly. Blade Fury's back out. Oh, he gets back. Well, Blade Fury away. Oh, they're going to be waiting for his stop right there, and it could be Universe getting the grab, but he's going to be forced to time walk back and away. Sumail moves in, looking to finish up on a mid one. Can he burst him down in time? Follow-up jump in from Arteezy. They are going to get the grab. Buzzy was he going to be taken down? Now they look for Forev. All happening, of course, while he does not have a Ravage to work with. Now Puppy shows up to play. Dishes out the song. Secret not looking to back down. And they're going to look to utilize that new Radiance here, I guess. Dishing out the disruption and more Naga illusions to burn things away. EG off to pull back and get right back into the Roche pit. No Ursa to worry about now, and still no Ravage.
No song.
No song. Is Forev thinking like some sort of blink in play? And
yeah, they have vision.
Our Universe does have a Chrono here. This is very scary. There's the jump in. It's a bit too early, though, if they wanted to connect to the Roche. And now Forev's in an awkward spot. He tries to go for a TP, but the Yules is going to be there. Chrono's going to be committed as they catch out MP right outside the front door. They're going to go for the burst. They're going to get it. Arteezy's able to grab the Aegis, and they back out and away. Boat comes crashing on forward. Zai very low, trying to rush out and away. Him and Crit and Sumail. They're going to be eating the Ravage, but they still hold on. Now mid one, jumping right back in the pit. Looking to burst down Arteezy. Can he get the Aegis down? It doesn't look like it. Arteezy is going to be able to move on in and starts manning up again mid one, turns for Pi. Pi will get burnt up, leaves him to get scorched, tries to go back for mid one, but mid one's able to win. He gets the double. Actually, technically, Puppy gets the double with the Radiance.
That turned that fight so much.
That was the slow and painful death by Puppy. While that long-winded fight was just going on all around the Roche pit, his illusions himself just burning everyone out.
Look at his damage that fight. He did the most damage that fight by a fairly large margin. It's crazy how farmed he is at this point in the game. I didn't think that they could take the fight without their ultimates up, but
he did not able to finish mid one, unfortunately. Mid one was able to make it away with about 30 life or so. Snail couldn't get that grab. All right, and we're back in this game once again. Secret just totally reclaimed all the net worth towards 5k their way.
Now it's a tough fight for EG.
Yeah,
they got the Aegis, they snatched it, but Secret immediately took it down and killed them, and they have slightly better scaling cores, unless, like, I guess Timbersaw maybe can do a lot of damage, but I don't think anything can really rival the Naga Siren at this point, who is now the net worth leader.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
It's like very, ironically enough, we saw this kind of thing from EG, specifically back at TI5 with Owie.
I'll take that as
You know, in the heat of the techies meta, it forced out teams like CDEC to ban the techies right away, but then you'd see EG always favor that early support Owie Naga, because they knew that he would be able to grind his way, similar to how we see Puppy now.
It seems like
into a
Puppy's
core.
been like very involved in these fights too. I don't know where he really found the space and the time to farm up that Radiance, but it couldn't have come at a more timely moment for Team Secret.
I mean, I guess, you know, when you have Forev, who'd been pretty much working in most of the Ancients, looks like up above, Zai's gonna get taken down, quickly assaulted by one, blinking in. But I guess there just wasn't as much farm to share on the side of Secret. I don't know, who suffered from it? I guess MP just didn't take as much of a chunk of farm.
I think mid one was the one who like was jungling and took out Roche very early, leaving the top lane alone for good old Naga Siren. But now EG have issues. They can't push out the lanes very well. Trace's Boy went for like a more team fight build. Kunkka is just not the best support hero at pushing out the lanes. Huskar is one of the worst support heroes at pushing out lanes very quickly. They just have no good way to actually force engagements on the Secret side of the map. They can just keep the lanes pushed out with the Naga Siren and take fights when all their ultimates are up.
Yeah, their best option for spamming out waves and Naga illusions is really the Timbersaw right now, but he is one man and can only do so much. And once Puppy's tank items start coming into play, becomes a whole new beast in itself.
They still have a lot of upside in the fights with Chronosphere, but it's with the Radiance, you always feel like you're under the gun. Like, okay, if we wait another 5 seconds, we're all gonna take like another 200 damage, and you just always feel like you need to get the jump right then and there before everyone's starting out the fight at half HP.
This is going to certainly be a problem. He has a Halberd now, so a little bit of Asian and a little bit of Disable here for Arteezy. But, I mean, he has his own evasion to worry about in the form of that Radiance on the other side. So you have something to deal with. It looks like back-to-back takedowns onto Zai here from mid-1. Again in the top lane, while Zai is simply trying to push out this top lane and I suppose just draw attention on himself. But EG, after already moving over what was probably one of their best windows to fight and really take over the game, have to kind of look for the follow-up now, whatever plan B may be. As you mentioned, they still have lots of potential behind Universe and his Chronosphere, but you know, one more bad fight like that, and you know, we could be looking at a 180 from what we saw in Game 1, where there's just little to no options for a team like EG.
Yeah, somewhat one-dimensional, I would say, with the Huskar. And he is kind of farmed, but his time is past. Yeah. You need to bully people with the Aegis, and they needed to win that T3 siege up top. I'm not sure how he died so quickly. Maybe it was like a bad armor toggle. Maybe it was a nice burst from Secret. But regardless, like, he has just perished far too many times.
3, 5, and 6 for Arteezy on his Huskar here.
It doesn't feel like there's an Oracle team backing it up, or he doesn't feel like a Huskar in terms of his survivability.
And it hasn't felt like Secret have been focusing Crit and taking him out of the fight either, so there's definitely something going on there.
I think he's just scared of like the Blink Ravage if he's too close. Or like the Naga Siren, I think is actually causing the most issues, because he was approaching on the south side that fight and they probably were forced to run back so they didn't get caught with a sleep into a Ravage into all of them. So Secret's been making it really tough for EG to actually win these skirmishes.
EG just smoke and head their way through the southern part of this map where Pylite is, but all this movement for a Pylite kill is certainly not good enough. And they're looking to head in much deeper here, but Secret obviously are looking at the map, they're seeing no one defending lanes, and they are taking the right approach here and just waiting things out. Well, I say that, but I was going to say MP could be heading into a troubled area, but it looks like he'll be fine. Secret do a nice job, they avoid any sort of gank approach from EG, and EG will reveal themselves now in the mid lane, and Secret could feel more comfortable getting back out, and it looks like they will.
They're trying to push uphill, but Forev is mega tanky. I don't... Maybe if they chrono him, they can take him out, but then again, if Naga is there, if the defensive disruption is there, it is going to be a turnaround fight off the back of the Ravage. So, yeah, EG, they're looking for a good fight, but they're not finding any.
Yeah, this is crazy how things are just starting to pan out right now. Puppy obviously taking the one position hat and putting it on his head now, showing that the Ursa game, you know, while it can almost feel one-dimensional like the Huskar, they have that Naga insurance policy now, and EG have nothing. And
a lot of it was the high ground hold, though. Just being able to kill Huskar at the point in the game where he's supposed to dominate.
Secret moving in. They have Forev out in front, slowing him down. Are they looking to pounce here? Can EG step back away?
Goodness.
Puppy has come in from behind, and he has got off a hell of a song right now, allowing Secret to move on in. Forev's going to be able to connect with a beautiful 4-man Ravage right there. Looks to go for crit. They're going to get the quick kill on not one but two, as both Arteezy and Crit will fall. Universe tries his best as he gets a nice chrono off. Can they get the first damage? Taking out MP? No. They will not be able to get that grab. A disruption comes in from Pylai, and they will begin to clean up. Sumail's also going to be going down. A big fight for Secret is a take out 4.
That's
all set up by Puppy right there. That is probably the nail in the coffin. This is totally the Puppy show.
That was... Yeah, it is the Puppy show. He BOT'd to the bottom lane, wrapped around with the sleep, and then just set up for a perfect Ravage from the Tidehunter. Like, he didn't even need Blink at that point. And then, on top of that, Universe had like a decent chrono, but oh wait, Pylai is there and he's farmed. He has a Blink Dagger. He blinked in position to save the rest of Team Secret, and they do not take any deaths. And this is going to be the third Roche, and imagine their lineup with Aegis and Cheese.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like even with that win that this game could be spiraling out of control for EG, but a win like that plus an Aegis for Secret certainly leaves little to no options here for EG.
Yeah. The Huskar just really didn't feel his footprint in this game at all. I think the early death and the early death in the middle lane, like which delayed his armlet, timing by a couple of minutes, and then the top fight.
Bo comes out. This might be one of the final hurrahs for EG as they try to save Sumail. They'll hit him with a false promise. He's going to try to make it back in away and hope reactive armor is going to keep him alive, but that leaves Arteezy in the fight, and he's going to be going down. Crit should be next, and then they'll get the follow-up support and taking out Zai.
Yeah, you can't recover from that.
That is definitely going to be game, and we're going to be going to Game 3 of Secret versus EG. It started well and good for EG, and it looked like it was going to be a possible cheesed-out draft with the Huskar creeping in as the 4th pick, but Puppy says that we're not going out like that, man.
Easy MVP Puppy.
Wow.
Easy MVP.
I can't believe it when you were like, oh, he has a Sacred Relic.